Hey guys, I want to show you my place, and I want to talk a little bit about the cost of living here in BGC, Bonifacio Global City in Manila, the most expensive city in the Philippines. But here's my place. It's about 60 square meters. It's one bedroom, fully furnished. So you can see the owners love art. This is a local Filipino that's done the artwork here. They love antiques, so they antiqued it out. I really like that. They have some nice things that go with it, and then of course I added my little flair of flags, Ireland and Vietnam hat that I got in my last trip. Some Japanese things. I brought some things from Thailand also to decorate my place. But here's the place. So it's, like I said, 60 square meters. So here's the living area. That's the dining area there. Living room here. Nice comfy couch. The only thing I don't like about this is I tend to crack my shin on those things. I want to saw them off, but I don't think I should. I got a big screen TV, smart TV, so that's nice. The landlady provided Fire Sticks for me for here in the bedroom, so I use a VPN so I can watch stuff from the States if I want to, movies, all kinds of stuff. So I have my, Prime Video and YouTube TV and that sort of thing. So nice view. This is out my window here. I'm on the 22nd floor of this condo unit, this tower. You can see right down Fifth Avenue there. That's Fifth Avenue. That's McKinley Boulevard or McKinley Parkway. There's more condos. There's a brand new one's coming up there. It's going to be even taller than this one, I think. But yeah, nice view at night. It's really pretty. And then a lot of times they'll do fireworks down there on High Street, and you can see it from my window. So that's what's really nice. A couple of air cons. So here's a view from the other end. There's more artwork that they put up. It's kind of nice. Here's my workstation. And then you go in here, you can see the kitchen, and there's the washing machine that they bought for me when I moved in. So that was really nice of them. The landlady, the owners, super nice. They bend over backwards to help me out. Got a full-size refrigerator. There's the sink. Got a stove and oven, which a lot of places here in Asia and the Philippines don't have ovens, so I'm pretty lucky to have an oven in case I want to bake anything. My coffee maker, which is super important. Of course, a rice cooker, which is an essential here in the Philippines. I don't drink the tap water. You should not drink the tap water here in the Philippines, or most of Asia for that matter. So you buy a big jug of water, and I got this little pump up here so I can pour my water. It's fairly inexpensive here in BGC. One of these costs around 50 pesos, which is about $1. I got my microwave and my stove there, and then so that's the kitchen, and then my bedroom's over here, and it faces the east, so in the morning you get a nice sunlight coming in. I got another TV here that I never watch TV in bed, but this is a nice little area there. See a little workstation there if you want. Another nice view out my window, same view, same side. AC on both the living room and the bedroom. And then I like the walk-in closet. You got closet space here, and it's lit, so I hang up all my clothes here. I didn't bring a lot. Brought a lot of hats, but I didn't bring a lot of clothes. I got drawers here, my socks and underwear, and shorts, things like that. And then on the other side here, I got my suits, which I don't wear anymore now that I'm not working. Pants, slacks, so once in a while I wear slacks if I want to go to a club or something. This is basically just storage. My backpacks, my luggage are all stored here. But yeah, if you want to go to a club, sometimes some of these clubs have a dress code, so you have to wear long pants. So I have slacks just in case. And the bathroom here has got a, obviously toilet, sink, showers, really nice. It's got this rain shower head plus the handheld if you want. But super nice thing. And so what am I paying? So I'm paying 40,000 pesos a month, and that comes out to about a little under $750 a month in US. So that's really pretty good. That's cheaper than I've ever paid any rent since I was probably in college. So that's what's really nice about living here. Even in BGC, where everything's super expensive, it's still cheaper than most places in the States. So 750, less than 750 US, 40,000. My utilities, which is electric and water, the electric comes out between $60 and $80 a month, depending on how much I use the AC, and I use it a lot. I use it during the day if I'm here. I shut it all down if I leave, and then I run the bedroom one at night when I'm sleeping. I run it about 22 centigrade, which is kind of a good optimum temperature for me to sleep. So about $60 to $80 dollars a month for electric and water. And then my Wi-Fi, I've got high-speed Wi-Fi, which comes to about 2,100 pesos, which is about $42, less than $42 a month for my Wi-Fi. So all in all, I'm paying about $850 a month for rent and utilities. Okay, we're going to take a walk. I'll show you basically where I'm at. So I always lock things up. You never know. I mean, it's pretty safe here, but just out of habit, lock things up. Got a neighbor that has dogs, so once in a while you hear that, but it's not too bad. Now, like I said, I'm on the 22nd floor. Oh, and I do have a Philippine phone, and I've got unlimited everything on it. It's postpaid, so I don't have to get a SIM card and register that every month. So I pay about 2,000 pesos, which is about $40 a month for my phone service. So figure about $900 a month total US to live here. Okay, ground floor. And this is the front entrance here. So you can see there's 5th Avenue again over there. And security, lots of security here. We'll go out this back way. I want to show you what's out back here for those that aren't familiar with this area, but they have a really neat place to walk back here. And I'll show you that. We'll walk up there. And over here, nice little place to chill. And there's a restaurant here, restaurant/bar. So it looks like it's getting in the late afternoon after 4 o'clock. So everybody's getting off work. I think that's the help. They're getting ready to open probably. And hello. And then a little bar/restaurant here too. This is all part of the tower, part of where I live. So it's kind of neat. And then over here, let's see. Actually, we got to walk this way. This is a little walking path. And I like walking here because you're away from the crowds, you're away from the traffic, and it's very quiet and shaded. Because in the morning you get the shade from the buildings, and in the evening and afternoon you get the shade from the trees over here. And over here is the golf course that runs along it too. So it's got a really nice golf course too. But okay, let's talk about why I love Asia and why I wanted to move here in the first place. I've always been infatuated with Asia, or with Asians, I guess. From even as a little kid, when I'm watching those old Japanese monster movies, Godzilla and Mothra, I was always infatuated with that, and I just grew up just really enjoying that. And then when I got older, I'm watching these movies with my older sisters and my parents, like the Flower Drum Song, which you're gonna have to Google that if you're younger than me. You probably don't know what that is, but it's basically a musical movie that's all the actors are Chinese, but it takes place in San Francisco in Chinatown. So, but it's really neat, and I thought that was really cool. And then, getting a little older, I just really really liked the Asian look. Then when I was after I got divorced, I was working in Indianapolis. We had to flash forward to about 2012, and I'm working at a school, small university there, small technical school, and the lady that cleaned the school, she was Filipina, I found out. So I talked to her a little bit, and she'd moved to the U.S. on a K-1 visa. Met her husband online. Her husband would take her to work every morning and then come pick her up. And I thought, wow, she's really pretty. Maybe I should try that. So I went online, got on a dating site, and met a Filipina online, and we started this long distance relationship. And she was an OFW working in Hong Kong at the time, and she was from northern Luzon, up in Nuevo Ecija, and she had holiday off for Christmas. This was in 2015, and so I took my vacation then and took 2 weeks, and I met her here in Manila. She met me at the airport. We spent a couple of nights in Manila, and then took this long, tiring journey in a bus all the way to her province. And the bus was packed. This is my first experience in the Philippines and my first experience in the province. So this bus was packed. It was so crowded that they had to put 2x8 planks across the aisle and set them on each seat so people could sit on the planks in the middle of the aisle. That's how packed it was. Mind you, now there's no regulations, there's no laws like there are in the States where that would be a fine, that you get pulled over, you'd lose your license for driving your bus or anything like that. Here there's no laws like that. Traffic laws in the Philippines are just suggestions. So I'm riding on this board in the middle of these seats, nothing to lean back on. And this old guy, my back's hurting. The first stop we make, and this is a long trip, the first stop we make was at this little sari store, a little convenience store on the side of the road. And this guy comes up, and he's got this big bag of food, and he sells all these Filipinos this food, and come to find out they're like pork rinds. So I spend the next 3 hours on this bus listening to everybody crunching pork rinds while sitting on a board with no backrest in this bus with no AC. Now, mind you, it's December, so it's not really hot, but it's hot. I mean, the Philippines, it's never really cold unless you're up in the mountains. But we get there, and I meet her family and her kids, and it's really nice. Hi, how are you?
We're good.
And it's really fun, and I enjoy it, and go back to the States, and continue this relationship for a little while. I think it lasted about 6 months, and then we broke up. She confessed that she was seeing somebody else, which I'm glad that she said that, because I didn't want to, I kind of suspected, things, you have that, or at least I do, I have that sixth sense when things aren't exactly right, things don't feel right, and then you just have that ache in your heart. I don't know if you've ever felt that before, but it's happened to me. So I confronted her about it, and she confessed that she was seeing someone else, and so we broke up, and that was the beginning of 2016, and I was a little crushed for a little while, but hi, how are you? Look at the cute babies. Bye-bye. So about 2 months later, I got back on that dating site again, and I said, what the heck? Now, I've been to the Philippines now. I really liked it. Love the weather because I'm not a cold weather person. And here it was in like February, and I'm living in Indianapolis. So if you've been in Indianapolis in February, it's still cold. So I was ready for warm weather again. And so I found this girl online, this woman online, and we started talking, and in April we decided, hey, you're not seeing anybody, I'm not seeing anybody, let's start a relationship. And so I made plans to come here, and so I started seeing this woman. She's got 3 kids. She lived in Leyte, and so the first time we met in Manila, and then we went back to her province in Leyte, in southern Leyte, and it was quite an experience, and I just fell in love with everything about the Philippines, the people, the culture, the food, surprisingly good. I'd heard so many bad stories about how bad the food is, but there's a lot of good food here. There's bad food too, but heck, in America there's bad food too, right? Hot dogs, who wants that? So we had a relationship from the end of 2016 to 2020, and we actually went through the K1 visa process, and I paid a lot of money into it, and we got through the whole thing, and got to March 2020. I came back here, and the only thing we had left to do was the interview. And so I went to schedule the interview online, and we couldn't get it scheduled until April 28th. And I couldn't be there because I was out of vacation time. So I said, let's run through some of the questions, because you can go online and you can check out questions, like 100 questions that may be asked during that interview for the K1 visa. So she didn't want to do it, and come to find out, she really didn't want to move to the US. She didn't want to get married. She wanted to stay in the province. And as much as I love the province, it's just not for me. I just didn't want to live in the province. So we decided to break things up. Looks like they're doing some boxing there. Kick his butt, kick his butt. I wouldn't want to mess with her. That's cool. So we broke up in 2020. That was right at the beginning of COVID. And so it was on my birthday actually, in March. And I was in Leyte. We were at her mother's house when we broke up, and I got a bike to take me to the highway, got a bus to drive me back to Tacloban, and then got a flight back from Tacloban to Manila. And then I wasn't supposed to leave for a few more days, so I stayed in Manila for 2 days, I think, and I got really, it's like, okay. I wasn't sure about Manila. I hadn't seen all of Manila yet. I definitely hadn't seen BGC or Makati. I was staying in Paranaque, and I didn't really like it, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to get a flight to Tokyo, because I was supposed to get a connecting flight from Tokyo to Beijing back to Chicago. So I went to Tokyo early, and spent like about a week in Tokyo, in the Roppongi area. Absolutely loved it. Tokyo is by far one of my favorite cities, probably my favorite city in the world. If I could afford to live there, I would retire there in a minute, but it's expensive. A little too rich for my blood, but fun place to visit. Well, so I go back when I'm supposed to get my connecting flight, and I find out that being a fairly new traveler, international traveler, I find out that if you book a flight that has a connecting flight, if you miss one of those legs, your whole flight is canceled. So what I thought was going to be my connecting flight to Beijing got canceled. It got canceled anyway because COVID, and there weren't any flights out of China to the US. So I said, well, can I get another flight? And she goes, yes, it'll cost you 21,000. I go, yen? And she goes, no, US dollars. And I'm like, oh my God, talk about price gouging during a crisis. So I get my laptop out, I'm in the airport, Nikita Airport, and I call my boss. This is like 1 in the morning in the US, right? It's like, I don't know, 11 a.m. in Tokyo. I call my boss and say, hey, I'm not gonna make it to work Monday. I can't get a flight out. And so he goes, that's no problem. So just let me know when you get here, or when you're able to get a flight. So I'm checking flights, and they're all super expensive, you know, and I'm on a budget. So I'm looking around, and I finally found this flight that's got like 4 layovers. Oh, by the way, BGC is famous for its cats. You'll see cats everywhere. But so I found this flight. It's got like 4 layovers, but it wasn't 21,000. It was like $2,100. So I booked it, but it was like a week later. I had to book it a week out. So darn, I had to stay in Tokyo another week. So I booked my hotel again in Roppongi, which I got lucky because with COVID going on, just the beginning of it, things were really slow. And so the hotel rates were low. I think I got this really nice hotel right there in Roppongi for like $40 a night, something like that. Super cheap. So I booked the hotel for another week and just spent another week exploring Tokyo, which was pretty cool. So if I can dig up some of those old videos, I'll post those too. But then I got back, and it's like, oh my, you know, once bitten, twice shy. You know, I get struck out the second time. Is this really what I want to be doing? You know, but I really love Asia, so I started looking for work in Asia. And actually going back a little bit before I met my second Filipina girlfriend, I was looking for work, and it was in 2016, and I was out of work. I hadn't met my second Filipina yet. We were corresponding on Facebook and FaceTiming and that sort of thing. But I was looking for work overseas, over here in Asia, and I actually had this offer to teach English in China, in Shenzhen, China, which is just north of Hong Kong. And I thought, well, this is cool. I'm going to definitely do this. So they sent me this contract. It was a 15-month contract to live in China. They would pay for me to get there. They would pay for my room and board, or some of my food, but they would pay for my room. And it looked like a great deal, you know. It's like, okay, I'm going to go to Asia. This is what I wanted to do all along. And I had the contract signed, ready to send in. And the day I was ready to send it in, I got a job offer at a university in Louisville, Kentucky. And I was afraid to get out of my comfort zone. So I took the job in Louisville, and I regretted it ever since. So for 4 years, going back forward to 2020, I regretted the opportunity I had to move to Asia. So back to 2020, 2021 to be precise. I took a job in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and about a year after that, that job ended. So I ended up going to this job interview for this global business university, online university based out of California. This guy was, he interviewed me. He was in Tulsa, and the interview was going super well. And where am I? I got to figure out where I'm at. Interview was going really well, and looks like I'm at a bus depot. And during the interview, he was talking about, well, we've got students all over Canada, U.S., Mexico, Central and South America, Western Africa, Europe. And I said, if you ever decide to expand to Asia, I'm your guy. And he goes, well, just so happens that we are planning on doing an Asia expansion. So I said, cool, well, I'm your guy. So he hired me. What he told me later was I went out to after the interview, he called his boss or the president of the university and said, we got our guy for Asia. So he pretty much hired me. As soon as I got home, they called me and offered me the job. So I took it, did about 6 months research on Asia markets, and then moved to the Philippines at the end of March of last year, 2022. So I've been here just over a year now, and absolutely love it. My job ended at the end of July, August. Like I said in the previous video of last year, I decided I'm done. I'm going to retire early. I got a nice pension that I can live very comfortably here. Like I said, I'm only paying about $900 a month for rent and utilities. Food, groceries comes probably to about maybe another, I don't know, $200 a month. So figure $1,100. And then if I do any entertainment, I can do some entertainment, go out, have a beer with some friends, go have dinner or lunch somewhere. Figure add another $200 a month for that. So I figure I'm paying around $1,200 or $1,300 US a month to live here comfortably. That doesn't include travel. Now, locally, I hardly ever travel. I mean, if I got a lot of groceries and I'm up at, say, the market, which is about 10 blocks from my house, and it's hot and I got to carry a lot of heavy bags, I'll get a taxi, and that usually costs about 75 pesos to get home, which is about $1.50. So that's nothing. So super cheap, even in BGC. The cost of living is relatively cheap. Now, I have not lived anywhere else, but I know that if you go into smaller cities or provinces, you can live a lot cheaper here. I've also looked at Thailand and Vietnam. I visited both of those places. Hello. And it's even cheaper to live in those places, depending on where you're at. So it's definitely doable to live here on a pension, or if you retire and you're on Social Security, I would suggest have a good savings when you come here, and just be frugal. Don't come here. If you're planning on living here, don't come here and spend money like you're on vacation. Spend money like you're living at home. That would be my best advice. That would be my best advice to you, because if you spend like you're on vacation, you're going to run out of money real quick. and everybody falls into that trap, me included. I was lucky enough because when I first moved here, I was spending money like I was on vacation, but I was making a really good salary. I was making about 3 times what I'm making now in my retirement. So I was able to afford all that stuff. So that wasn't a big issue for me. So I would just be aware of that if you want to move here. I would also suggest that you come here for a month or so and check out everything. Check out if you like cities, if you like amenities and like convenience. I would suggest BGC or Makati if you can afford that type of lifestyle, which really isn't that much to me, you know. But I'm a minimalist, so I came with just a minimum amount of clothes and that sort of thing, and I don't need much. I'm not an extravagant guy, so I don't need expensive clothes. I don't need to eat at Wolfgang's every night and have a Wagyu steak or anything like that. You can get all of that here. You can get really good Michelin star restaurants here and pay like you would if you were in New York or LA. Or you can go on the other end of the spectrum and get a Jollibee, which is the Philippines version of McDonald's, and you can eat super cheap. You know, get a meal for like 150 pesos, you know, under $3. And like I said, in the province, it's going to be cheaper. And then everything in between. The nice thing I like about here is you have a lot of restaurants that have Filipino food, but you also have a lot of restaurants that have Western food, so all types of Western food. I just saw a banh mi sandwich shop, a Thailand sandwich shop that just opened up in High Street South, so I'm definitely going to check that out. They've got a Denny's. They have Denny's. They've got they got all the Western restaurants. So this is Burgos Circle, not to be confused with P. Burgos Street in Makati. That's a completely different thing. This is Family, a nice little park that people go through, sit in the shade, enjoy late afternoon. Weather's not too bad. Got a neat little Instagram picture place here. You can get your picture, take your picture here, post it on Instagram. But this is real. I mean, this is a family area here.